Story 1. I love all potato dishes, so I get a very elated and longing look when there are potato dishes at a meal. My significant other and I met through mutual friends and shared many group meals together. He realized I liked him when I started looking at him the same way I looked at the potato dishes on the table. Story 2. It depends on the person. I struggle with this. I believe my crushes think that I no longer like them because I stop making eye contact, say very little, and seem more withdrawn. I feel like I lose my ability to act naturally. Interestingly, I think I have more charisma and flirt better when I am just friends with someone. Story 3. I am going through these comments trying to remember if any of this has happened to me. If it did, I was totally oblivious. I cannot read people very well. Story 4. The best way to know is when someone tells a joke or a story, they will look at the person they are trying to impress or get a laugh from afterward. In addition, they will often compliment you about anything, especially if it provides an opportunity for physical contact. If physical contact occurs unprompted more than once, they are definitely showing interest in you. Story 5. Here is my tip. I heard that if a girl likes you, she will laugh at your jokes even if they are not funny. So, I make sure to tell bad jokes all the time and focus on whoever seems to find me hilarious. I know this works because years later, when they are my girlfriend, I tell the same joke, and they do not laugh and tell me I am not funny. Story 6. They appear noticeably awkward, perhaps stumbling over their words and smiling frequently. Their eyes are also a clear indication. Story 7. I find it harder to understand being a lesbian because girls are touchy anyway, and I just can't tell the difference between being nice and flirting. Story 8. They say, "Hey, I really like you and find you attractive. Let's date and have romantic experiences immediately." Unless you're male, in which case she may just be being nice. Don't overthink it. Story 9. I want to add that I'm a therapist, and many of these behaviors reflect good listening skills that some of us can't turn off. It isn't necessarily a sign that I find you attractive if I'm making good eye contact, laughing, remembering what you said, or even playing with my hair or touching your arm. The only reliable way to know if someone finds you attractive is to ask them if they'd like to do something one-on-one soon. If they have reasons they can't, or if it can't happen for a while, or if their expression changes or they want to include other people, they do not want you in the way you want them to. Story 10. On a separate note, a shout out to neurodivergent women who often attract men because our masking skills make us seem like we're flirting all the time. We're not flirting. We're trying to be normal so that intense eye contact and smiling are efforts to prevent you from sensing our differences. Story 11. This might sound harsh, but as a woman, I can tell when men have a certain look on their face if they are interested in sleeping with me. Even during casual conversations, there is a specific expression that men display. Story 12. If you are in a group and someone tells a joke, they look at you first to see if you find it funny. Story 13. If they find you attractive, they are likely drawn to you, laughing at your jokes, sitting next to you, and making eye contact. If they have feelings for you, you may notice hot and cold behavior, where they act indifferent or borderline rude one moment, then affectionate the next, before receding again. Story 14. I can tell by looking at a woman's feet if she likes me. If her feet are behind her ears, there is a 100% chance she likes me. Story 15. A girl in high school once sat in my lap, and I didn't realize it at the time. It was probably something more than that. Story 16. Remembering everything you have said, even the smallest details or things you like, even if you mentioned them a long time ago. It is cute. Story 17. They attempt to kidnap you because they believe you will be the perfect mother to his 25 children. Story 18. They make an effort to engage with you through conversation or humor. Their tone may change when speaking to you. It resembles a customer service voice but is less monotone. Story 19. When they show up unexpectedly where you are, laugh a little too hard at your bad jokes, or suddenly become very interested in your niche hobby. Oh, you collect vintage staplers? Wow, what a coincidence, me too. Story 20. I dislike this game. It feels like we're in second grade, and we're elementary schoolers who cannot find the words to express how we truly feel. Story 21. When a woman begins seeking innocent physical contact, It's usually time to remember my marital vows and retreat to my hotel room alone. Story 22. When they close in on me, standing at 6 feet 3 inches, locked on my eyes, looking up at me. Most girls are intimidated, but the aggressive ones let me know every time. Story 23. I'm hopeless at this, but a giveaway was one person mysteriously offering to teach me and 10 of my friends poker when I casually mentioned that I didn't know how to play. Story 24. They graciously overlook my numerous shortcomings, aiding me as I navigate my way to a life that is, frankly, much better than I deserve. From the bottom of my heart, thanks to all the dedicated police officers and human resources professionals who accepted my flaws and kept me employed because of our compatible personalities. I appreciate your support. Story 25. Maybe not always attractive, but important. If a joke is told that gets a laugh from the group, observe whom they are looking at. If it's you, they care most about your opinion of those in the group, which probably means there is something significant there. It's a subconscious reaction, so it involves them checking in to ensure it's okay to laugh. Since it's subconscious, it can be overridden, especially if you are trying to determine if someone in the group likes you or not. There are a few other signs psychology discusses as indicators, such as whether their feet are pointing at you or if they are mirroring your actions. However, this particular sign seems to be accurate every time. If you monitor yourself, it might adjust your perception because you may end up looking at the person you think you should be looking at, revealing something about yourself as you realize it in the moment. Story 26. They tell you you're attractive, which is the most obvious giveaway. Many indirect signals depend on the person and can be misinterpreted. I don't like touching anyone, even if I am romantically interested. I also compliment everyone and engage actively if someone is sharing something about themselves in conversation with me. I've been mistaken for sending signals that I definitely do not intend to convey, and I don't see how these actions are even romantic. I would rather normalize treating everyone as if they are worth your time and engagement, regardless of whether you find them attractive. Story 27. They lean in towards you, maintain eye contact, and face you directly. Their posture might be open and relaxed, indicating interest. Story 28. Brush through their hair with one hand, and you will get stared at quite soon after the hair part. Story 29. It became awkward when I talked. I was in the gym and asked one of the staff to return a missing item I had found. He appeared shocked by my request and then stared at me as I walked away. Story 30. They play with their hair while talking to you. When you are in the same room, they laugh and give the impression of having a good time with the person they are with. Story 31. Suppose this indicates a genuine liking for you rather than merely finding you attractive. It suggests they are making an effort to engage in conversation with you. Story 32. When I first met the online friend who later became my partner, I found it difficult not to look at him for too long, sit too close, or prolong our hugs. I also really wanted to brush his very tangled hair. I didn't want to make him uncomfortable, so I tried to avoid those actions, but I probably did to some extent anyway. Story 33. A genuine smile with direct eye contact is a simple yet powerful gesture. However, as I have lived this life, nothing is guaranteed. There are strong indicators, but there is always a risk if you are willing to engage in the dance of attraction. Story 34. Eye contact with you, especially when they are talking to someone else. They want to be near you. Eyebrows raised when they see you. Their focus is on you when you are with a group of people. Their friends look at you, indicating they have probably told them about you. Story 35. I am very interested in what you have to say, even though we have only just met. While context can depend on various factors, this is often a good sign. They tend to show more interest than the average person. Story 36. They will laugh at all of your jokes, no matter how silly. They may have low self-esteem and will find amusement in anything. May the odds be ever in your favor. Story 37. Many comments express basic forms of human interaction and label them as significant signals of attraction. Story 38. In a group of people, they glance at you quickly after making a joke to observe your reaction. They always make time for you and are very attentive when speaking with you. Story 39. They initially act uninterested, but then you notice their gaze starts lingering. Suddenly, when you talk, they find a way to get physically closer to you, and they keep looking down at your lips. Story 40. I am too much of a hermit for this. I really need it spelled out. I think it is rude to assume, so I mentally discipline myself to not automatically jump to that conclusion. Story 41. They behave or treat you differently than others. Many of the signs mentioned here are typical behaviors for some people and not for others. If they are very touchy with others, they likely see you like any other person. If they avoid eye contact, they might be shy. The best way to find out, other than asking, is to observe whether they start behaving differently with you. Story 42. Holding a conversation with me beyond the first 30 seconds is challenging. I tend to be antisocial. When someone wants to talk to me, it's often not because they are interested in what I have to say. Story 43. They just stare at you all the time. You always catch them stealing glances at you. Sometimes they are touchy with it too. Story 44. They seem to keep looking at you. The only problem is you would think it is because you have something stuck in your teeth. Story 45. They try to prepare themselves when they are near you. It could be their hair or their clothing, essentially making sure they are more presentable. Story 46. The eyes. The way people look at me gives away a lot. It shows whether this man finds me attractive or if he is just someone inappropriate. Story 47. They find reasons to be around you and to talk to you. They try to get your attention using things they know you like, but they pretend it is casual so they do not seem too forward. They aim to impress you. Story 48. I was getting coffee, and a man kept accidentally bumping into me while waiting in line. When I looked up, he quickly looked away and fixed his hair. Story 49. I have no idea. I'm quite oblivious to it. I don't consider myself attractive, so it's always strange when I discover someone has a different opinion. Story 50. They style their hair similarly to how women do in hair color commercials. One technique is scalp scratching followed by a wild release. This might also suggest they are not rinsing out conditioner completely. They twirl their hair even after it has already been curled by the instyler. Story 51. If someone is talking to you with their feet pointed at you, they are interested in what you have to say. If their feet are pointed away from you, they would rather do something else than continue the conversation. Story 52. If they want to play it cool, they will glance at you whenever they make a strongly opinionated statement, mostly to see if you approve. Story 53. Copying small actions such as touching their face after you touch yours, laughing when you laugh, or taking a sip of their beverage when you do is common. Story 54. I think the most obvious sign is if you frequently see someone nearby, but not in a class setting. You notice them each time, and they seem to try to observe you up close without you realizing it. You can sense this with good intuition, but it may not be immediately apparent. I became aware of this, but it can backfire if you misinterpret their intentions. They might find you strange or odd out of mere curiosity. Story 55. The attention is clear. No matter if you are in a big group, he will find the opportunity to start a conversation with you. Additionally, any of your requests, as long as he can fulfill them, will be taken care of without needing a second reminder. Story 56. I am pretty sure that when someone harasses me with phone calls, they either want my money or are pursuing a relationship. However, I do not have much money, so if you are interested in me, please make an effort to get to know me. Story 57. When you are talking and someone just sits there and listens to you. When my boyfriend and I met and went on our first date, I kept catching myself talking about things I liked, and he just sat there with a smile and listened to me. We now live together, and I have never loved someone as much as I love him. Story 58. This may sound odd, but when I am talking to a girl, if I scratch my nose or something similar and she subconsciously does the same thing, I feel that I have her under my spell. Story 59. Take a look in their mouth. If you are in it, there is a good chance they are into you. If not, turn yourself in immediately. Story 60. If you don't come to my hotel room right now, you are going to miss out on the best experience of your life. Story 61. If, when standing in a group, their feet always point towards you, or if sitting in a group their torso and shoulders always point towards you, And if their knees touch and neither flinches away quickly, it's on. Story 62. They keep looking at you, laugh at all your jokes, and jump at any chance to interact with you. Story 63. Maybe not a dead giveaway, but a subtle indication is that she wants to be open and express herself on the first date. Story 64. I can list the clear signs when someone does not find you attractive, and anything that is the opposite is likely your answer. Closed off body language, turning their back to you, looking the other way, ghosting you, replying only when they remember you, and running away when they see you approaching. Story 65. It's usually at the moment her mouth is on me that I get the feeling she is into me. Apparently, my wife doesn't find me attractive anymore. Just kidding. She sleeps with her mouth open. Story 66. As a man, when women regularly give you their phone number in bars along with a, "I've never done this before." Story 67. My way of showing that I like someone is by trying my hardest to talk to them. I am married now and those times are gone. Story 68. As a male, I have generally observed that women tend to maintain longer eye contact without breaking it. Additionally, I have noticed that women sometimes consume an extra cocktail or two to gain more courage. However, this often leads to making a fool of themselves. Excessive alcohol is a major turnoff for me. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.